Dr. Masaru Emoto converted to Islam because of Zam-Zam water. The miracle of water, discovered by Dr. Masaru Emoto from Japan. Professor Masaru Emoto, a researcher from the Hado Institute in Tokyo, Japan, in 2003, through his research, revealed an oddity in the nature of water. By observing more than 2,000 examples of photos of water crystals that he collected from various parts of the world. Emoto found that water molecules can change depending on the feelings of people around them, which indirectly suggests the influence of feelings on the clustering of water molecules formed by hydrogen bonds. Dr. Emoto traveled around the world conducting experiments with water in Switzerland, Berlin, France, Palestine. And he was then invited to the UN headquarters in New York to present his findings in March 2005. It turns out that water can hear words, can read writing, and can understand messages. In his book, The Hidden Message in Water, Dr. Masaru Emoto explained that water can record messages, like magnetic tape or compact discs. Emoto also discovered that water crystal particles look beautiful and awesome if they receive positive reactions around them, for example with joy and happiness. However, crystal water particles appear to become bad and unsightly if they experience negative effects around them, such as sadness and disaster. More than 2,000 photographs of water crystals are contained in the book Message from Water, which he wrote as proof of his conclusions, so that this has the potential to be a breakthrough in believing in the wonders of nature. Emoto concluded that water particles could be influenced by the sound of music, prayers, and words written and immersed in the water. The following crystal images are some of those presented by Emoto. 1. Water crystals from water that are recited Islamic prayers. 2. Water crystals influenced by symphony music such as Mozart. 3. Water crystals influenced by words of virtue. 4. Water crystals that are given the word angel. 5. Water crystals that are spelled out with the word Satan. 6. Water crystals that are influenced by metal music. The stronger the concentration of the messenger, the deeper the message is imprinted in the water. Zamzam molecule. It turns out that the most beautiful water crystals in the world are Zamzam water. Why is that? Because every year, millions of people who gather to carry out the Hajj pilgrimage always give endless prayers and positive words from time to time. Our body contains 75% water. Imagine what will happen to our children, our life partners, our co-workers, and the people around us. Even the animals and plants around us will feel the effects caused by vibrations that come from thoughts and the words we say to them all the time. So it is best to always be conscious and wise in choosing the words you will say, as well as control the thoughts that arise in our minds. The secret of the amazing miracle of Zamzam water. Not many people know how the Zamzam well can produce tens of millions of liters in one Hajj season, without ever running dry once. A researcher was once ordered by King Faisal to investigate the Zamzam well to answer the dirty accusations of a doctor from Egypt. How many million liters of Zamzam water? How much Zamzam water is drained every Hajj season? Let's count it simply. The number of Hajj pilgrims who come from all over the world every Hajj season today is around 2 million people. All congregants were given 5 liters of Zamzam water when they returned to their homeland. If 2 million people each bring 5 liters of Zamzam home to their country, that alone is 10 million liters. Besides that, while in Mecca, if the congregation stayed an average of 25 days and each person consumed 1 liter a day, then the total would be 50 million liters. The strangeness of Zamzam water. In 1971, a doctor from Egypt told the European press that Zamzam water was unhealthy to drink. The assumption is based that the city of Mecca is below sea level. Zam-Zam water comes from wastewater from the residents of the city of Mecca, which seeps in, then settles down with rainwater and comes out of the Zamzam well. Masha Allah. This news reached the ears of King Faisal, who then ordered the Minister of Agriculture and Water Resources to investigate this problem and send samples of Zamzam water to laboratories in Europe for testing. Tariq Hussein, a chemical engineer who works at the seawater purification plant for drinking in Jeddah City, was assigned to investigate. When he started his assignment, Tariq had no idea how the Zamzam well could store so much water as if it had no limits. When he arrived at the well, Tariq was very surprised when he saw that the size of the well's pool was only 18 x 14 feet, approximately 5 x 4 meters. I can't imagine how a well this small can produce millions of gallons of water every Hajj season. And this has been going on for thousands of years, since the time of Prophet Ibrahim a.s. Research shows that Zamzam springs can emit 11-18 liters of water per second. In this way, 660 liters of water will be produced every minute. That's what's astonishing. Tariq started measuring the depth of water wells. He asked his assistant to get into the water. It turned out that the well water only reached slightly above the shoulders of the maid, who was 5 feet 8 inches tall. Then he told his assistant to check whether there might be an overdraft or pipe in it. After moving from one place to another, apparently nothing was found. Well of Zamzam. He thought, perhaps this well water was supplied from outside through a high-powered pump channel. If something like that happened, then he could see the water level suddenly rising and falling. But even this allegation was not proven. No suspicious water movements were found, nor were any tools found that could bring in large amounts of water. Next, he asked his assistant to go back into the well, then told to stand in a quiet place while observing the surroundings. Pay very close attention and report what happens, no matter how small. After carrying out this process carefully, his assistant suddenly raised both hands while shouting, "Thank God I found him." Fine sand danced beneath the soles of my feet, and the water came out from the bottom of the well. Then the assistant was asked to circle around the well when the water pumping time, to be distributed to the water distribution, took place. He felt that the water coming out of the bottom of the well was the same as before the pumping period. And the flow of water that comes out is the same at every point in all areas. This causes the surface of the well to be relatively stable, with no major shaking. Contains anti-germ substances. The results of research on water samples in Europe and Saudi Arabia show that Zamzam contains fluoride, which has the effective power to kill germs, just like it contains medicine. Then the difference between Zamzam water compared to other well water in the city of Mecca and surrounding Arabia is in terms of the quantity of calcium and magnesium salts. The content of these two minerals is slightly higher in Zamzam water. That's probably why Zamzam water has a refreshing effect on tired pilgrims. Another special feature is that the composition and taste of the salt content is always stable, always the same since the formation of this well. The taste is always maintained, acknowledged by all the Hajj and Umrah pilgrims who always come every year. Can cure diseases. The Prophet explained, "Indeed, Zamzam is very blessed water. It is a food that contains nutrients." The Prophet added, "Zamzam water is useful for whatever is intended when drinking it. If you drink with the intention of being cured of your illness, then Allah will cure it. If you drink with the intention of feeling full, then Allah will fill you. If you drink it to quench your thirst, then Allah will quench your thirst. It is the water from the pressure of Gabriel's heel, a drink from Allah for Ishmael." H.R. Daraqutni, Ahmad, Ibn Majah, from Ibn Abbas. Rasulullah ﷺ once took Zamzam water in a jug and leather water container, then took it back to Medina. Rasulullah ﷺ used Zamzam water to sprinkle sick people, and then told them to drink it. In scientific research conducted in European laboratories, it was proven that Zamzam is indeed different. The water content is different from the wells around Makkah. 1. The levels of calcium and magnesium salts are higher than other wells, which are efficacious in eliminating thirst and have healing effects. 2. Zamzam also contains fluoride, which is effective in destroying germs contained in its water content. 3. What is also amazing is that there is not the slightest moss in this well. Zamzam is always free from contamination. 4. Strangely enough, even though all the water wells around Mecca are dry, the Zamzam well still has water, and Zamzam has never dried throughout the ages. Some Islamic jurisprudence scholars recommend that Hajj pilgrims bring Zamzam when returning to their country, because Zamzam can be used as a medicine for healing. And this has been proven. Many pilgrims from Indonesia and other countries have experienced the magic of Zamzam water. What are these water molecules? In a hotel in the city of Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, Dr. Masaru Emoto from Yokohama University, Japan, explained the results of his research on water, which he wrote in the book, The True Power of Water. A number of crystal slides of water molecules from various sources, such as water from springs, rivers, seas, lakes, etc., broadcast on that occasion. Some of the water molecules he studied were irregularly shaped, except for the Zamzam water molecules. The arrangement of Zamzam water molecules has a very beautiful, orderly structure, beautiful like sparkling diamonds, and emits more than 12 colors when frozen. The series of hexagonal shapes is very beautiful, brilliantly sparkling and full of color when the noble verse is read. There is a water crystal that looks the most beautiful and beautiful, shaped like a flower or chakra, like a bead-quality diamond enthroned, sparkling, emitting dozens of colors. What water molecules are these? Masaru Emoto asked. The atmosphere was suddenly silent. The audience looked stunned and didn't know exactly what the molecular crystal was. But suddenly, a lecturer from the University of Malaysia raised his hand. Maybe it is a Zamzam water molecule. He said. Dr. Masaru Emoto asked again, why do you think that it is a Zamzam water molecule? That's right. It is indeed Zamzam water. Dr. Masaru Emoto has shown that Zamzam water has the most beautiful water molecules among other waters. The best water on earth is Zamzam water. In it there is food that satisfies and medicine that cures diseases. Tabrani and Ibn Hibban. Glory be to Allah Ta'ala with all His creation.